ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, 815.
I'm pretty sure I can say this with a lot of confidence. An anteater ends more lives in a single meal than a lion will in its entire lifetime. I'm Greg, and he's Tom. It's your In Crowd 815 podcast for the, what is this, the 26th day of July, the year 2025, the latest it has ever been in the history of mankind. And Tom, you're frozen again. Tom, you froze up on me again, buddy. Where'd you go? There you go.
I'm here.
And
The latest it has ever been in the history of mankind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much protein is in an ant. I think I'll take a steak once in a while, a big old, beef steak over 1,000 ants. Yeah.
You don't want an ant steak.
No.
Well, I've often said this, and I still think it's probably true. Anything with Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on it is probably going to be good. So I might try it with it if there's that as available as a condiment. But
all right, the next time you make it to trivia on Wednesday night, I'm going to bring you a bowl full of crickets with a little Sweet Baby Ray's on it.
Properly cooked. I mean, properly cooked. There's some things that need to be done.
I suppose if you throw a little oil in the pan, usually olive oil or something like that, maybe throw a little salt and some seasoning, and you throw in a bunch of crickets and burn them and sear them and this and that. I suppose if you ate them, you're like, oh, okay, this is all right. Because you're tasting the barbecue, you're tasting the, all of the seasonings and all that. You're not really thinking it's bugs. I mean,
I'm not saying I'd prefer it. I'm just saying I'd try it. That's all.
Well, I think it's kind of funny that somebody like a Bill Gates is saying, I think we should start eating bugs. Okay, Bill, here's a bowl of worms. Here's a bowl of insects. Here's a bowl of mosquitoes. Go ahead. You take a bite.
Yeah. Let's try this. Our current race to 10 has me in the lead by a score of 2-0. And Tom's frozen up on me again. My goodness, Tom's got some issues going on with the Wi-Fi at his house. Our big number of the week this week is 685 billion. 685 billion. The answer is a fan or a fraud. A fan or a fraud. Tom's going to send me his guess right now, I'm sure, because he's not going to do the Google search. But if you want to do the Google search, if you want to try to find the answer, 685 billion. See if you can find a story that's popped up in the news in the last week or two. I think this was within the last week. And put your guess in the comments. Maybe someday we'll have prizes to give away to people that get the answer right, Tom. It could happen. It could happen. Tom needs to win something that helps him get faster Wi-Fi because he's locked up again on his Wi-Fi right now. Buddy, I don't know what's happening to your Wi-Fi, but we got to figure something out. I'm going to do this. Our first guest today is from Life Decisions, and they've got an awesome video that I think is worth sharing right up front. So we are going to show this as a way of introduction to our first guest today. Let's go to this, and this.
I had a traumatic upbringing, and when you grow up in trauma, you never really realize that that's what life shouldn't be like. I moved to Rockford in 8th grade to get away from that, and that is when I met my mentor, Miss Alicia, and a very close friend. When I met her, I was a very quiet kid. I didn't like to stand out. I didn't like to talk because I didn't like to take up space. And she noticed that. And every Thursday, she would never let me not be seen. And that is what we do here. We believe that every youth is a future leader, and they just need that little motivation and that little push to get to where they want to be. I was there when Life Decisions was just a thought on a piece of paper with Jake, Allie, and founding mentee Jadarius. And I have seen the blood, sweat, tears, many tears that it takes to run a nonprofit.
The work that you've done, and I know it feels like a century, but you're really impacting the lives of somebody young. You can actually see it and feel it, how much poured into those young people. And what's neat is you just see the growth of the young people that you're impacting.
I was a youth mentee and now I'm a full-time staff. To buying my own car, having my own apartment, mentoring youth, finding a career where my heart is, and continuing my education to become a peer support specialist to help people overcome addiction and mental health struggles.
We have a vision for Rockford where overlooked and undervalued youth no longer are leading our streets destructive, but instead are empowered and inspired through relational mentoring. Serving together, barriers begin to be broken down and new relationships are built. Everything we do is relational mentoring to help young people get back on track, stay out of trouble, and reach healthy adulthood. This gift today is a significant step towards realizing our dream of providing transitional housing.
Housing is a crucial pillar, and many of our youth struggle with this one component. Whether housing is not safe physically, mentally, or emotionally, our youth just need someone to see them for who they are, not what they did when they were younger or what they needed to do to survive.
I got a message about this potential donation, and it just couldn't happen to a better organization. And I think this is just such a beautiful partnership.
It's a perfect example of what happens when organizations, communities come together, and the generosity of Rosecrans to make that possible.
Now, we don't know everybody's struggle or everybody's story, but we know now that this is another option to help them get back on their feet and feel seen, known, and valued.
There's genuine love there, and there's genuine caring, and the young people that you're impacting those lives, you can actually see it and feel it, how much poured into those young people. And I can't wait to see what this home does.
This is not just a building, it's about creating a safe space where young people can feel supported, valued, and empowered to thrive. Just want to thank you all and welcome you as members of the Tribe of Life Decisions.
Congratulations and welcome home.
Good morning, Allie Rogers. All right. Oh, I muted you. That was on mine. That's on my end here. I got a lot of beeping going on with things going on. Good morning, Allie.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today. How are
It's
you
great to
doing?
be here. Thank you.
You
I'm
bet.
doing good. I'm coming live from Indiana at my brother's house on vacation.
Indiana Live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Indiana Live. So before we get into all things life decisions, let's learn a little bit about you real quick. Where did you grow up and go to school? Are you a lifelong Rockfordian, or did you grow up somewhere else?
I am. I'm a Rockford native. I grew up, actually, I went to Guilford High School.
Okay.
So I went to Rockford Public Schools. I'm from what we call a fractured family structure. So I had two homes and went back and forth. I have two older brothers. I had several step siblings along the way. And I was not really good at a lot of things. So I would like try out. I was that person that was very ambitious and wanted to do a lot of things, but wasn't very good at those things.
Okay.
So a lot of times I felt like a fish out of water.
Okay. All right. What was the idea, I guess, coming out of high school that you thought you were going to be doing? What was going to be the career path you thought you were going to be on?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So prior to high school, I thought maybe a teacher or a social worker. I knew something with kids, but then when I was 19, I ended up having open heart surgery, and that kind of changed the trajectory. That's like a divine intersection in my story, right? And so I always tell people I had open heart surgery to let Jesus in, and so that was when I kind of came to faith and thought, well, maybe a youth pastor. And kind of simultaneously at the same time, I had open heart surgery. That's when the church and the youth group actually reached out to me, and that's when I, became open to other things. And then I started mentoring. I was like, well, maybe I want to be a mentor. So I became a big sister with Big Brother, Big Sister. And that was when my passion of mentoring started 20 years ago.
Nice. Good deal. So that led you to starting this whole life decisions thing. And when you meet someone for the first time and they've never heard of life decisions before, what do you say in your little elevator pitch speech, if you will, to, hey, I've got 60 to 90 seconds to actually tell someone about this. How do you explain life decision to somebody in a really small nutshell?
That's taken us 5 years to figure out.
Uh-huh.
So we serve 15 to 23-year-old multi-ethnic youth, and they're from fractured family structures who often feel alone and lack opportunities. So our goal is to introduce them to a new way of being, a new life, introduce them to basic life skills. So our 30-second elevator speech is we help youth get back on track, stay out of trouble, and reach healthy adulthood.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And I think Tom and I could probably share in that, growing up in the 80s, we're kind of late 70s, early 80s kids. The family structures that we witnessed in our lives were evolving, right? And it is probably now, and I'm totally shooting off the top of my head here, but it's probably now less common to meet a teenager from from a home where it's still called the quote unquote nuclear family, mom and dad
Mhm.
and kid or kids in the same house under the same roof and have been for a long time. That seems to me to have become more of a minority situation than the majority like it used to be.
Absolutely. And I can even think back to I had this awareness in second grade. I was one of two kids in my class that had this situation of going back and forth between mom and dad. And I remember what that did to my, in my identity, my mindset. I felt less than. I felt like, why me and not them, right? And so, yeah, I would say now, years later, it is kind of a more of a minority situation where you find that traditional setting. A lot of the youth I work with are actually coming from the foster care system, or maybe live with a relative, or couch hopping with friends.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a scary thought, isn't it? People living couch to couch, just needing a place to stay,
Yeah.
not wanting to be homeless, trying to find some sort of stability. And now when life decisions, we just showed this video where
Mhm.
this property was donated to your organization. And
Yeah.
because you're currently in a house, but now this is going to be a much bigger house.
So we graciously have a contract with a church next door to us on East 8th Street, a 5-year contract, for us to be able to offer mentoring programs to youth. So one of those mentoring programs is building trades mentoring. So we've been doing renovations in the space we're using. We have a gourmet popcorn business so that youth can come on and get paid work experience with us. But in October of last year, we received a phone call, and Jake, my husband, who's the other founder, and then Amaya, we were invited to uh, come visit the formerly known Hillman House and walk through it. And so we showed up, and it was formerly owned by Rosecrans, and we're walking through this beautiful space. And I said to Jake, "They don't think we can buy this, right? Like, I don't think we can."
Uh-huh.
And we didn't know. We had no idea. So that's another divine intersection, right? And so we received a phone call not too much later, and they said, "We love your passion, your vision, what you would use the space for. And so we want to donate this to Life Decisions." Talk about a jaw dropping moment.
Wow. Wow. Describe this
Mhm.
house too. What kind of a facility will this be able to come for your organization?
Absolutely. So, because we weren't anticipating it, those have been the conversations we've been having the last few months, right? We're preparing, but our long term vision is to offer transitional housing, like a transitional housing program for youth, so that they would enter into between 3 to 18 month program where they would learn how to do individualized goal plans. But in this space, we have a commercial kitchen, there's bedrooms upstairs. We would be able to offer all of our daytime scheduled mentoring programs, right? Like family style meals, meal prep. We currently have 8 garden beds and work with youth on how to garden and then how to prepare meals and salads from those from the veggies and fruits from that. And so we do just a variety of different mentoring programs that this home can house, but then overnight it would be a safe, stable place where these young people don't have to worry about sleeping in a car or a couch. But it would not look like a crisis situation, right? We have Youth Services Network who we collaborate with, we're grateful for. This would be really those youth that are more committed and just need that additional support to reach healthy adulthood, to learn how to budget and to learn how to get a full-time job, but they need that in between transition time where they are unhoused. So
Nice. Well, I'm going to bring up your website here real quick because I want to show this off real as well while we're talking. Allie Rogers from Life Decisions, one of the founders, her and her husband Jake. It's been how long now? 5 years that you started this?
yes, it's our 5th year.
5th year. You started this right smack dab at the beginning of this whole COVID thing. Did the COVID thing have anything to do with your founding of this, or did it just happen it was just a happenstance thing?
That is such a loaded question. Yeah. So I think COVID had to do with everything, right? What we were seeing is a lot of places and people closing their doors. And because I had worked with nonprofit previously, I already was mentoring youth. And what I was seeing is a lot of the youth that I had were, due to COVID, experiencing heightened anxiety, depression, loneliness, isolation, but with fewer places to go to get support and resources. So absolutely, it affected just the heart behind why we launched. We were like, everybody else is kind of closing their doors, and we need to be able to still meet the need. And so we started brainstorming. Jake and Jadarius are the initial brainstormers of this, right? So Jake met Jadarius in the juvenile detention center, and what he was seeing is a pattern of these youth coming out of the detention center just to go right back in within a few short weeks or months, and started addressing what are those things that that we're actually setting up our young people for failure. We're not setting them up for success. And that's where the thought behind our 6 pillars came from. If we can holistically and simultaneously address whether or not they have safe, stable housing, if they learn how to do self-care practices, get involved in their community and have leadership opportunities, then maybe they would be set up more for success to reach healthy adulthood. And so when they started launching Life Decisions during the pandemic, Amaya was already one of my mentees, but I tell everyone she's my mentor, right? She's taught me more than I could ever teach her. And
she probably knows this already, but in case she doesn't, you're the guinea pig, Maya. You're
she definitely is. She knows it.
Someone has to be, and you're the one. Thank God you're there. Thank God for what you do.
Definitely. And so we were drawn into that mission. And for me personally, it was the vision of the safe, stable housing and the transitional housing program. When I heard that, I thought, oh my goodness, this is such a need in our community because of the number of youth I'd worked with for the last, at that time, it was like almost 2 decades. And that when you don't have a safe, stable place to lay your head at night, it's really difficult to reach healthy adulthood. Right. To hold down a job, to be, productive human. So
safe, stable housing, that first pillar right there, right? That's a biggie. That's a biggie. Should I be clicking on one of these things? What do we want to look at here, Allie? What's something that you think we should focus on?
Really any of those. I would also say there's what we call a DOM video. So for your viewers to click on, it's a 2-minute video. You don't have to do it right now, but it actually walks through the life cycle of one of our youth. And so it gives you this idea of a young person that walks into Life Decisions for the first time. What's the process they go through and how do they actually reach healthy adulthood at some point? You could click on any of those pillars, and it kind of just gives a description of why they exist. Definitely, I would say our work pillar is a big one. A lot of times we see that youth don't have opportunities for legal paid work. And we saw that as such a critical need. And so that was where the heartbeat behind screen printing and our gourmet popcorn business came from. So we screen print all our own shirts. And our first year, so going back to like COVID, and you said the impact that had, Maya, we kind of launched this youth leadership council, and we asked, everybody else is closing their doors. What can we do for our community? And Maya and a group of our youth had this idea of, let's host a block party. Let's do a fun fair. And we're like, oh, okay. I don't even know if we can, right? But we found different ways to write grants, and we sat with her and she wrote a grant for this, and she actually received it. So that was our first official project as a nonprofit. And it became like this staple project that we did. But because we're very frugal and resourceful, is what I like to say, we were like, we should have t-shirts, but we didn't have the resources to pay for t-shirts from someone else. And so what we thought was, let's invest in screen printing and see if we can find some mentors to teach us how to screen print. And so screen printing became one of our second project. And so and then shortly after, we launched LD's gourmet popcorn. So I know that was at your trivia event. I hope some people enjoyed it. We do
That
a
was
variety
very
of flavors.
successful. Everyone liked that a lot.
Oh, that popcorn was good. I ate enough to I ate enough for an
I'm
army.
glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, the jalapeno popcorn was a little rough, but hey, or whatever it was some sort of a
Yes.
spice. It was good though. I wasn't
The
expecting it.
Buffalo Ranch, it has a kick.
Buffalo
I
Ranch.
can't even be in the
That's what it
kitchen
was.
when we make that.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, because
Yep.
We got a bunch of 5-gallon pails full of your gourmet popcorn, and we put that out for our guests at the last Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest in April. So I'm hoping we can make that happen again in November when we do this again. I know
Certainly.
that's all.
Happy to.
Yeah, whatever if it's in.
I'm already working on plans.
It'll be a very
I love it.
If this is a good time for a transition, sort of, it's not a transition. I wanted to go back to something you said, Allie, a few minutes ago. You said you came from a fractured family. I'm there with you. I did too. But I wanted to make the comment that a fractured family doesn't always mean mom and dad have split. You could be in a family with a mom and a dad married and kids and this and that, and it looks like the wonderful, wholesome family, but it's not.
Exactly.
And what I'm saying is this: sometimes it's not just fractured family, it's fractured spirit. And you can have 4 kids, 3 kids, 2 kids, whatever. And that one of the kids could have a fractured spirit, and you not even know it, because as was it Amaya? As Amaya said, she just didn't feel like she had. I'm paraphrasing her. She didn't feel like she had the right to speak out or to be seen or be heard or whatever. That described me to a T. That really struck a chord when she said that. And I think it's important for people to understand that fractured spirit is what we're really kind of dealing with here. It's somebody who is off in the corner, and God bless you. God bless God for recognizing that and picking her out and saying, "Hey, come with me. I want to help you. I want to mentor you." Whatever. However, it all worked out. I think that is absolutely wonderful, and I have had that in my life as well, through friendships and everything like that. So I think it's important that people understand fractured spirit as well as fractured
Absolutely.
family.
Tom, you hit the
Yeah.
nail on the head. Like, that is really the heartbeat behind the core values that we chose as an organization early on. We chose authentic relationships, and the heartbeat behind that is we see past the masks that we wear, right? We're always at times putting on masks. Reconciliation and restoration. How many times do we grow up in a home where we feel like conflict is bad? Well, actually, conflict is necessary. And so we need the tools to engage in healthy conflict resolution, community and belonging, for a place where we can feel seen, known, and valued. Celebration and adventure. One of our favorite things to plan is holidays and celebrations, because we don't know if our young people are experiencing cutting down a Christmas tree or going to the fireworks. And what we've learned in the last 5 years is we've experienced those first with them. First time at a movie theater, first time going to the fireworks, and it blows my mind because
Yeah.
every time it's a new, like a first time dyeing eggs, I'm just like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you're 18 years old and you've never seen the fireworks. Like, and so what a
Or
privilege to
yeah.
sit in that space with them.
Or you give an 18-year-old, 19, 20-year-old a Christmas present. It's like, I've never received a
Yep.
Christmas present before. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
gut wrenching. It really is. But you know what? The beauty of it and the beauty of God is that everything starts anew. His graces are new every morning. It's a brand new day today.
Yes.
Let's move forward. The past, we can never erase the past. We shouldn't erase the past. And you can't really forget the past, but don't relive
Yeah.
the
But learn
past.
from it,
So
right?
always
I
learn from
think
it. Absolutely. And that's what, yeah.
we have to embrace failing, and there's been so many conversations within our team about this. If we don't take on the courage to try something new at the expense or the risk of possibly failing, then we won't succeed or ever reach the heights that we really believe that we can. And so we really encourage, hey, you got bold ideas, let's talk about it, let's figure it out, and really embrace failing. If it happens, what are we going to learn from it, right?
Exactly. Yes. There
Mhm.
is no losing. There's winning and learning.
Amen.
There's W's and
Love it.
L's, and the W's are wins, and the L's are learns. They're not losses. They're not
I
losses.
love it.
So I love your attitude, and I know we had kindred spirits the first time I met you. I knew that right away, and your
Yes.
husband too. Let's give a good shout out to Jake. Tell us a little bit. I want to know how did you two meet? Can we go there? Is that okay?
Yeah. So we actually, uh, another divine intersection, right? So
Mhm.
Jake and I were friends prior to ever getting married. And so even at the beginning of launching Life Decisions, prior to working here, we both worked at a nonprofit together, but in different areas. And so he was a juvenile justice director, and I was a city life, campus life director at State Line Youth for Christ. And so for a little while, I kind of juggled both. I did Youth for Christ and Life Decisions. And then my heart was just really drawn to Life Decisions and our transitional housing. And but that's how we initially met. And then Amaya and I joined Jake and Jadarius as founders. And then, a couple of years later, we're like, you know what, we're doing this together. And I could just see God's hand all over just how this divine intersection of us coming together. And so now we're running a nonprofit together and married.
I see you.
That is so cool.
I see you both as
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
doers, but
Mhm.
it seems to me on the outside more than the inside that you're more the dreamer and he's more the facilitator.
Opposite.
Is
It's
it the opposite?
opposite. He's the
Really?
vision and I'm the implementer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you've got a great team.
Well, that was my second guess. Hey, Howie,
Yes.
does your cousin Aaron Rodgers ever reach out to you when he's not playing football?
Well, what's really funny is I do actually have a cousin, Aaron Rodgers, now, thanks to Jake, but not the baseball player
No, you mean
or
football,
football.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a sports person.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Let's see here. Eliminate that
Take that question
question and
out.
eliminate that
I
question.
told you
out.
I tried
That's
many
all right.
things, wasn't good at them, lost interest.
Well,
That's all right. We've only got one sports question.
yeah.
It's okay.
Hopefully
You
we'll
could
get into
try
the-
me. You could try me. We'll see if I do better.
All right.
Well,
You might. Well, there'll be a whole team anyway.
Good.
So
definitely want to make sure we ask you before we move on, if someone in Rockford wanted to volunteer their time or their resources, what are some immediate ways that someone here locally can contribute? Or maybe someone's watching in another state or another country right now and they want to donate to what you guys are up to. What's something that someone can do to help impact your work immediately?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that. The biggest impact is donating time or money, right? So we rely on consistent monthly donors, and it could be $10 a month, it could be $25 a month. There's whatever amount, but those are our monthly supporters. We call them door holders because we really believe that they open the door to new opportunities. We cannot continue to literally open the doors of our facilities to these young people without the support of our community behind us. So that would be for those who are interested in supporting, whether you're in state or out of state. And then for those that are interested in hands-on becoming a mentor, or we also have volunteer opportunities like administratively or with property maintenance. So there is a place and a way for you to serve, to get involved and use your gifts, no doubt.
Awesome. And of course, as with any not-for-profit like this one, a monthly gift really helps them a lot. If you want to plug in such a way that you know you can impact them on a monthly, even really a daily basis, but with a monthly gift, those $30 a month
That's
givers are huge.
It is huge. And I never really knew that until I was in nonprofit world of why it was so important. It actually helps us project our budget for the year and
Right.
know where we can spend and what projects we can do with our young people. If we can project that these gifts will be coming in, it helps us to be wise stewards with our money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Budgeting is important, friends. Budgeting is important. All right. Is there anything before we transition with our trivia with Tom and our next guest? Is there anything we did not ask you about that you wanted to make sure we brought up today before we move on?
You covered it. Thank you.
You feel covered. You feel covered. All right. Well, we've got the links in the chat for those of you who might be watching on another platform other than Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook. Those links only show up on those platforms as we're doing the show. So if you're watching this later on Spotify, those links, you can find them there very easily. Otherwise, just go to lifedecisions.net. That's the place to get all the information about life decisions, building a tribe of mentors. This is something really special in our area, so we want to make sure everyone knows about it. All right, we're going to transition and bring in our next guest, and to do that, we are going to play this. Bring on our friend Paula Capone. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all.
Thanks for joining us today. Before we get into all things Paula Capone and the YMCA, we're going to do a little Tom trivia, see if we can't score some points on Tom's questions this week. Tom, what do you got for us?
All right, Paula, you are back for a return engagement of this show, but did you do trivia before?
No.
I think
We
you
were
did.
We were not doing trivia
Okay.
at the time.
We've only been doing trivia for, I don't know, maybe 8 months, 10 months. Maybe
This
something
year.
like that.
I think we just started that
Anyway,
this year, right? Was this a January, February thing? I think we started doing this. It's a
yeah,
transition for us.
okay, so maybe 6 months
Yeah.
or so. All right. Well, anyway, here we go. Now, Greg, you know the rule. The rule is let them answer first, and then, and if
I
you
came
sense
in
that they
last
can't answer
place
it,
at trivia 2 weeks ago, so it's
no, you came in, well, 2 weeks ago, but last week
this
you
week
came
we were
in
second to
not
last.
last place. Yeah, it sounds better if you say second to last rather than ninth place.
But
Anyway,
just so you ladies are aware, when my wife and I can, we like to go up to Louise and play Tom's trivia game up there. And there's usually anywhere from 8 to 12 teams playing. In the last couple of weeks, there's been 10 teams, and it's just my wife and I playing against teams of 3, 4, 5, 6 other players. So it's not like we're playing with a whole bunch of people. We're not up there trying and expecting to win.
well, in Greg's defense, there are teams that have been playing consistently for 5 years, 6
Right.
years, 7 years, 8 years. I mean, they've been with us from the very beginning, and they're teams of 8 or 6 or whatever, but they're very, very sharp people. And as I was telling Greg in the pregame warm-ups, Greg and his wife, Christy, they're very bright people. They're very smart people. And I'm not blowing smoke. You're you're a smart guy. But intelligence doesn't have as much to do with it. It's a matter of where is it? Is it in that? Is it what part of your brain is that in? Because you know the answer, you just can't come up with it. And trivia allows you to have that recall, that instant recall, because your mind is focused in that area.
Challenge.
So that in my defense of you, buddy.
You.
All right. So here we go. I've got 7 questions. One of them is a Rockford trivia question. And it might be easy, I think, maybe. I'm hoping it is. All right, so we got Disney, we got Cars, slogans, NFL, anatomy, Dead or Alive, and Rockford trivia.
Right.
Here we go. All right, Disney. Which Disney classic movie came out first? And I'm talking about the ones that came out on VHS, not like back in the 1940s, 50s, or something like that. Which Disney movie came out first? Was it Little Mermaid or Aladdin?
Oh, my guess wasn't either of those.
Yeah.
Which of
I'm
these
gonna
two?
Little Mermaid.
say
Well, of these two, because I'm
Oh.
saying of these two because there were other ones that came out
Oh,
before
okay.
So I'm sorry, but of
Paula,
these
what would
two,
you guess?
which
oh, I would guess Little Mermaid.
I'm gonna second that.
I'm trying to think. I know in
And-
our family we watched Aladdin like crazy. We watched Aladdin for probably a year or two, almost every week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we had on repeat on the VHS. I'm trying to think.
yeah.
I want to say Little Mermaid came out after that one though, but I'm not sure.
Well, put it this way: you're going to be outnumbered 2-1 no
Yeah,
matter what. So you might as well just go
Here's
with.
hoping it's Little Mermaid.
It is Little Mermaid. Real funny story. When my daughters were 6 and 3, Dad could still give them a bath, but not much longer after that. Well, my girls, 6 and 3, they go, Daddy, Daddy, and they jump out of the water and go, part of your world, the water would go flying, and I'd get wet, and it was so cute. One of the greatest memories of my entire life. I love it. So, but not long after that, obviously being a dad, it's like, okay, honey, I can't give the girls baths anymore. Now it's your turn. So, anyway.
All right.
Okay, cars. Which car company makes the Sorrento? I will give you options if you need them.
Please.
If we need them,
Once again-
that would be great.
I'm
which
guessing
car
it's either
company makes
Nissan
the
or Kia.
Sorrento? Okay, well, we've got Hyundai, or as my sister would say, Hyundai, or something like that, or Kia.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
Hyundai or Kia.
well, now I can't even pronounce it, but
Hyundai or Kia.
Hyundai.
It's just Hyundai.
I'm gonna guess Hyundai.
Well, Greg, what's
Kia.
your guess?
I wasn't thinking Hyundai at all. I was thinking, like I said, Nissan or Kia. So I think it's Kia.
It is Killed in Action.
Killed in
Kia.
action. Oh Lord.
That's kind of funny. We have a Kia. We have a Kia van, and I highly recommend Kias. I love Kias, but they're easily stolen. And if you ever, for anybody out there listening, if you have a Kia and your alternator goes out, do not buy an aftermarket. Just spend the necessary bucks and get the original from Napa or from the Kia dealership or wherever, because that's a problem. It takes the original. I don't know why. It's something in the computer.
Pro tip right there.
Yeah.
Storing that in the
Oh,
Mind
my God.
Palace. There's trivia for you, Tom. Where's that come from?
What's that? Throw that in the Mind Palace?
Where's the Mind Palace come from?
Oh, I don't know.
Sherlock Holmes.
Where does... Oh, Sherlock Holmes. That was elementary, my dear Watson. All right, here we go. Number 3, slogans. Which rental car company used the slogan, "We try harder"? Was that Avis or Hertz?
Try harder.
Once again, which rental car company used the slogan, "We try harder"? Was it Avis or was it Hertz? And I don't even know if they use it anymore. I don't think so.
I wouldn't know, but I'll guess Avis.
I think Hertz had a different slogan. I think.
I'm gonna guess Avis.
Yeah, I'm on the Avis train.
Hertz had O.J. Simpson running through the airport, and I don't remember what their slogan was, but
So I don't either.
it was something like "Getting away from the cops." No, I'm kidding. That was wrong. I'm so sorry. I'll ask for forgiveness later. All right. Yes, it was Avis. Very good. You guys are 3 for 3. I don't want to put the jinx on it here. All right. Now, I am 99.99999% sure you're going to get this. Even if you, Allie, are not into football, you probably don't need to be, because I'm pretty sure Greg knows the answer to this. Who is the current NFL champion? In other words, who won the Super Bowl last year? Who is the current NFL champion? No options there.
Kansas City.
I have no clue.
The Chiefs been winning a lot, so that's a good guess, right? Because they've won a bunch of them recently, but they actually lost the last one.
Giants or something? Patriot? I don't know. I don't really know.
I hope it was the Eagles.
It was the Eagles.
Still
Yes,
It was.
that's right.
I was going to give you the options of the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles. I did not want to throw you off because if I had given you option of Kansas City, Allie, you said Kansas City and you said the Giants, but I didn't want to throw you off. I knew Greg would get that one. So you guys are 4-0.
Good job, Greg.
4-0.
I was even in one of those pool things, but I just picked the names that sound okay.
Well, it's funny because Jalen Hurts got the MVP of the Super Bowl, right? The quarterback, and he's still like underrated. I mean, he's still not given the props that he deserves.
He is
Crazy.
okay. So if we could deviate for 30
Uh-huh.
seconds. Sorry, Greg, you get me talking
I know.
NFL. Come on now, it's your fault. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but he's a good game manager. And I know a lot of quarterbacks hate to hear that, but he is with a very good system, a very good team, a team that won the Super Bowl. You got to be good to win the Super Bowl. But Jalen Hurts, you put him on a team like, the Bears or something like that, a struggling team. You put him on the Carolina Panthers. You put him on, any other team, and he's not going to be a Super Bowl winner.
Right.
You know?
Not like Tom
You
Brady.
could make the same argument. Well, exactly. You can make the same argument for Tom Brady. You put him on the Bengals back in the day when the Bengals weren't very good. He's not winning 7 Super Bowls. He's just not.
He has that will.
No, because Tom Brady relied on. I'm sorry, ladies.
All right, question number 4. Let's go, Tom. Question number 4.
Oh, hey, that was question number 4. Let's go to question number 5. Anatomy. We'll talk football later, Greg. All right. In which part of the body would you find the alveoli? That's an anatomy question. Once again, in which part of the body would you find the alveoli? ALVEOLI.
Can I use my phone on this one?
No, you cannot.
You want to phone a friend, or you want to phone a ChatGPT?
You can phone Allie.
I guess
Or
but
Greg.
I have no idea.
I would have no idea.
Oh, I've seen that word. I don't know. I didn't do well in that class. I'm going to give you 2 options. Yeah,
you skipped that day, right?
That whole year.
Didn't skip it. You were sick that day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you Greg. No answer.
Say
for
it
that
again.
One, right?
Say it again. I got distracted.
In which? Wow, that's my line. In which part of the body would you find the alveoli?
It sounds like something that would be either in your nose or your ear.
Okay, I am going to give you 2 options. I don't know if this means I got to give an asterisk to it.
Oh,
lungs
that's a
is
good
correct.
guess.
It's the lungs.
Wow.
Lungs is
Transfer
correct.
of oxygen to the blood.
You guys, you are 5-0. You didn't
Good
Google
job.
it, right?
Good job.
I got a text from my guy out of the country. That's why I got distracted. You and
Did
I.
he text you the lungs?
No. It's a real estate question. I'm like, all right. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, you legitimately got it then. You are 5-0.
All right.
5-0. This is unprecedented.
Wow.
All right. Here we go. Dead or alive. Is singer-songwriter Bob Dylan dead or alive?
Bob Dylan.
Still alive.
The singer-songwriter Bob Dylan dead or alive.
Still alive.
I'm going to go with her.
I'm hoping he's still alive.
I'm looking for a part-time job as a fill-in for Bob Dylan. I've been working on it.
Doing good, Tom.
I don't even have to know the words.
That's right.
Exactly.
No, I don't think he knows the words. Yes, he is in fact alive.
Good
We are
job,
in good
Paula.
shape here.
All right.
You guys are going for the big banana here. Where's my little trophy?
Where's Snoopy? Anyway, where you got Snoopy?
Oh, you know what? I never did show you the new stuffed animal,
Stuffed animal
of the week. He's a little kangaroo.
Tom has over
baby.
600
What's
of those.
the baby
things, so
called,
that's-
Tom? Another trivia.
I just got these the other day. I haven't named them yet.
Oh, he's called a Joey.
Baby's called Rue. No. Yes, I know it's a Joey. Yeah, I thought you meant literally. What did I name it? Joey. Yes, of course. Okay, I love that. Turning the tables on me for trivia, and I'm now 0-2. But I did know Joey. I just didn't know what you were asking. All right, here we go. Rockford trivia. When did Rosecrans begin in Rockford, Illinois? Was it 1918 or 1938?
I'm
Was
going
it
to
called
guess
Rosecrans?
1938.
It was Rosecrans Memorial something or other. I just looked it up.
Oh man,
For
I
some
should know
reason,
this.
I feel like I've already seen them celebrate the 100th year. I thought they had a 100-year thing. So
Oh,
Yeah,
they
I
did.
yeah,
could
They
be
did. Let's go
the
1918.
1918. I think is.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Good
That was
job.
7-0.
Oh, ladies.
7-0. You got them all right. I wrote this quiz last night, and I was really tired. No, it's on the floor now. I was really tired. I'm like, uh, 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 uh.
Nicely done.
and
Nicely
yeah,
done.
no asterisk. You guys are the official champions.
Right.
The official champions.
He's
7
given us
0.
6.5
First time we've
points
ever
before,
had.
but never a full 7.
sweet,
Never
sweet.
a
Wow.
Yes.
Paula,
'Cause if I
I'll do
had to
trivia
help
with you
and-
anytime.
Kelly, sing.
All right,
Heck yeah.
Wednesday nights at Louie's. Or you can do Sam's on Tuesday nights, or you could do Scanlon's on Monday nights.
Okay.
Well, we want everyone to check out lifedecisions.net. Check out lifedecisions.net, all the stuff that Allie and Jake and their mentors and their team is doing over there. And do you need any specific help with the new building, the new
Yes.
building house? Is there anything specific that is a pressing need, or at least a more urgent need than others?
Yeah, we right now lawn property maintenance, painting. We're doing all of those things in the next season.
Okay, so if anyone has willing to put in some sweat equity into this new property, especially some scraping and painting probably before the winter hits, that would
Yeah.
be a really big help to Life Decisions. So thank you so much for sharing with us today, Allie, and I'm sure we'll be catching up with you again soon, not just because of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest in November, but another thing. Right?
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me.
Have a great
Bye,
rest of your weekend.
Ellie.
Bye, Paula.
Bye, Allie.
Let's switch to the YMCA. We've got. Do you ever get sick of that song, Paula? You
No,
hear it.
I never do. Never. It is so fun. It's just a fun.
It is one of those songs that it never, ever, 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 ever goes out of style.
It doesn't.
Never. There are a few songs. That one and Get Down Tonight by Casey and the Sunshine
I was
Band.
just playing
And when
that.
I'm doing trivia, when I'm doing trivia, I watch people because I play my music in between questions, and I'm watching people in their chair dancing, and I'm the biggest chair dancer of all. And I'm kind of gauging, okay, they're digging the music.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
And so I play a lot of music that is what I call neutral. It's like older generations, newer generations. Anybody will like the songs. YMCA is one of them. I don't play it because we have a team called Village Idiots, and whenever they win, and they win when they're there a lot, that's their theme song when we end. So yeah.
Well, Paula, we need to learn about you real quick before we get into all things Y. So let's find out, where did you grow up and go to high school, and a little bit of a career capsule that led you to the Y.
Sure. So I am a Rockfordian, born and raised on the west side of Rockford. I attended all the schools that I've attended are now closed. So
Seriously? What high school?
Rockford West,
You were in West
which is now a junior
Mhm.
high or middle school, and so yeah,
West Warriors?
I'm a West Warrior through and
Yeah,
through.
West
I was a
Warriors.
Mosquito Warrior up in Wisconsin, so we're.
All right, yeah.
I DJ'd a 50 and a 55 year class reunion. A buddy of mine went to West, and it was class of 68. So I DJ'd both of those. I don't know as if there will be a 60th.
Right. You never know.
It's getting up
Never
there
know.
now. You never know. You never know. So we'll.
You
we'll see.
graduated
But
from there.
anyway.
And what did you do after high school?
So after high school, I did go to Eastern Illinois University and graduated with a degree of recreation because I wanted to work for the YMCA.
Okay.
And so I am actually on my third Y career. So I've been with the Y in and out, but I've been in the nonprofit industry my whole life. So I've worked for the YMCA. I've worked for Gigi's Playhouse as their executive director, and worked for Wesley Willows. And then I did a short stint with Girls on the Run as their executive director. And then I made a beautiful transition back to the Y to pop this awesome program called Camp Hope America. I started with the YMCA in camping at Camp Winnebago, and I was a camp counselor. And someone asked me, when were you a camp counselor? And I'm like, 1984. And they're like, my mom wasn't even born.
Thank you.
Oh, geez, I get that
Thank
all
you
the
very
time.
much.
And so it
Yeah.
was just so funny. So, and then I oversaw camp with the Y as I transitioned within the Y. I've what oversaw Camp Winnebago, and then moved Camp Winnebago from where it was to where it's at now. Made that transition from the east side to the west side of North Main, and so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Thanks to Lynn Martin, she swapped it out.
yes.
I don't know if you
I
remember
don't
that
know
back
Lynn.
in the early '80s.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, she was congresswoman from our district back in the early '80s. She worked in George H.W. Bush's cabinet. She was labor
Oh, yes,
secretary.
I
She's
do.
from
Yeah, yeah,
Rockford.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, one day, is that okay, Greg, if I'll transition how I got back to the
Yeah,
Y?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I was the executive director for Girls on the Run, and I wanted to bring a day camp program to Camp Winnebago for the Rockford area. And I was meeting with Rachel Latham, our VP of at the Y, and and then at the time I just saw the news that the Y acquired Camp Hope America from the city of Rockford and Family Peace Center.
Okay.
And I said, "You guys, that is so cool. That I'm so happy for you that you received the grant dollars." And yeah, yeah, yeah. Then I met a second time with Rachel in regards to a day camp for Girls on the Run. And I said, "Rachel, have you found anybody yet? How's that coming along?" And she's like, "Paula, I haven't found anybody. Do you know of anybody that could do this?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Her name is
Yeah,
Paula. You might have met her before.
yeah."
I saw her in the mirror
Yeah.
this morning.
And it was so for me, it's just a beautiful so I quickly had to make a turnaround uh, and came back to the Y. It's a kind of a whole full circle for me. So
Yeah.
started in the camping industry, and so I'm going to end my career with the camping industry and moving this program to the forefront for these awesome kids. So so truly, in essence, the YMCA of Rock River Valley acquired this city of Rockford and the Family Peace Center's grant dollars to bring this camping program to our community for those kids that have been exposed to domestic and sexual abuse.
Okay.
And it is a national program. It started out in San Diego, and I am so proud to say that Rockford is the only Camp Hope America affiliate in the state of Illinois. And so very unique. And we are making it happen. And we just came back from our week of Camp Hope. And so so Camp Hope and Project Pathways. Camp Hope is our summer program, and then
Okay.
Project Pathways is our year-round portion where we're continuing what we learned at Camp Hope and working with them throughout the year.
Okay. Okay. So when youth get, do they get referred into this program? Do they volunteer themselves to get into the program? How do they get connected?
Yeah, so I work with all sorts of our fellow nonprofit agencies that are working with kids that have been affected by domestic or sexual abuse. So definitely work with a Family Peace Center. I work with CASA, Rock House Kids, and there is a referral process. And so these agencies would refer them to me, and then I will contact the caregiver or the parent, and I will meet with that caregiver and that potential camper, is what I like to call camper
Mhm.
or participant. And because I want to make sure that they're camp ready, that they would be able to handle going to a sleepaway camp. It's a sleepaway camp, 5 nights, 6 days,
Mhm.
and I want to make sure that they can do that. We can all do hard, difficult things, and that one certainly is that. But we're there to support them and get them through that week of fun, and then also we have a evidence-based curriculum that Camp Hope has provided for us. That's part of being an affiliate, that they give us a curriculum that we follow during Camp Hope and work with the kids. So it's about 144 hours of therapy comparable. Going to Camp Hope is about 144 hours of therapy.
Yeah.
So
And that is a big commitment. That's a big thing to disengage from whatever your current lifestyle is, and to go and is it camping in tents, or is it camping in a lodge type situation? Where do they go?
yeah, great question. So right, going into nature, our kids are city kids. They've never
Mhm.
left Rockford. They are so, and then going into nature is just that peaceful, neutral space.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we are taking them into nature, and then we do stay in cabins,
Okay.
and they are in bunk beds, and the counselors. I have counselors that stay with them, and
So
then
it's a little less scary knowing they're going to be in a building and not a closet
yes,
or not a
yeah,
nylon tent somewhere.
yes, right,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we don't have any bears in this area, so we're okay.
Not usually anyway.
We don't have bears, but we do have snakes. And my first year, so that was last year of taking the kids to camp, I think they're bull snakes.
Bull
It
snake.
it was 6 feet long. I
Whoa.
was
Oh,
freaking out. I'm like, I don't want the kids to see the snake." So I had to call the camp, team, where we were at, and like, "You gotta
Yeah.
come and remove the snake."
I don't believe they're poisonous, but they
dang.
are scary. I mean, that's a long
Yeah, it was
anything longer than a 3-foot snake is gonna get my attention, those
yes, yeah,
less than 3 foot, it's like, whatever, probably just a stupid little garden snake, whatever, get it out of
right,
here. But bigger than that, I'm
yeah,
thinking twice. I'm thinking twice
yeah,
at least.
right, right.
So a
Wow.
lot of people are familiar with the YMCA. We don't, we've known about it
Mhm.
for years, and there's a lot of different programs. Um, i- is the YMCA mostly run by quote unquote employees, or is there a lot of volunteers involved? Do you need volunteers with the YMCA?
We always need volunteers. That any nonprofit, right, needs
Yeah,
volunteers, and the why we run, that we need that.
yeah.
Um, the why does employ a lot of people,
Hmm.
but most of them are part-time, and that's how we can remain a successful organization, is having those individuals that have part-time hours. So volunteers are so important. And for my program, specifically for Camp Hope, for an example, I had 3 volunteers that came and prepared the cabins for the kids. They came and they put sheets on the beds. They put their toiletry baskets all together, which all the toiletries were donated by State Line Community Church. So there's an opportunity to give for all the toiletries. they just prepared the cabins, and so that was volunteers. I had a volunteer make pillowcases for all of the kids so that they would have a pillowcase. And how
Yeah.
special, it was just so special. And some of the kids don't have pillowcases or they don't have a pillow, so I provide pillows. And so there's many different facets that make our program successful at the Y. And so it's those special volunteers, and I'll focus in on the I called uh the person that made the pillowcases. I said, "You're Camp Hope's fairy godmother." And just making those special little things,
Yeah.
it's so important to have those volunteers and people using their special talents and unique talents, and finding their niche to do that. So
And next time, bring us some snake repellent.
well, and that so we're at a new camp host camp this year, so I did not see any of those.
Okay, good.
And you say little things, but we all know it's the little things that make the big difference. It's the little touches that make people realize, oh my gosh, I really am cared for. I was really thought of before this event took place.
Right.
That's amazing. That's big.
Yeah, and Greg, these kids that are coming in, and you touched on it with Allie, or Allie touched on it, where these kids want to be seen and they want to be heard. So they're coming from those environments where they don't know how to manage their emotions, and so it comes out in many different ways. And people who haven't worked in this industry may think that these kids are bad, and they're not bad.
No.
They just don't know how to handle their emotions and get it out properly. So we're going to help them, just like Allie does with these older kids. We're going to do it with the younger kids, and we're going to give them a pathway to hope and healing, and help them to work out their feelings and how to say say what they want to say, and what is bothering them, and so that they're not stuffing those hurts down. Because if you continue to stuff, and if you continue to have trauma and not deal with it, pretty soon you have no hope. And if you have no hope, what do you have?
Yeah.
You have
You start doing things that are detrimental to yourself
Yes.
or society. So yeah, you need the hope.
You need that hope. So we're allowing them to express what's going on in their brains, expressing their feelings, and we're going to work with them with that. And then we're going to work with dreaming. And our tagline is hope is believing in yourself. Hope is believing in your dreams, and hope is believing in others. And so that, we're going to work on that with these kids, and give them that pathway to hope and healing, so that we can say, look at the success of these young individuals, rather than the police department saying, here's a 17-year-old and we're tough on crime. We don't want that. We want to say, these individuals are being successful. And so that's what we're
there is a place for both. There is a place where authority does need to step in and make the tough decisions, and the punishment needs to match the crime and all that stuff. But to understand too where a young person has come from and what they have learned and have not yet learned, just like you say, trying to figure out ways to get out some of those frustrations, to learn they can talk about things and find solutions without getting all crazy and physical and whatnot, destructive, right?
Right. Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to say is you're creating a sense of family with these younger folks. And I think it is so wonderful because, as I said earlier, and I don't know if you were on yet, it was when Allie was on, you may have heard it. You may have been off the screen, but heard it. I said, I've been very, very blessed with some very good friends. I just had lunch on Thursday with my oldest friend. We've known each other for 56 years, since kindergarten. Just told you how old I am now.
Right.
56 years. And we do lunch. He spends some of his time in Florida, and some of his time up here. He's heading back to Florida in November. Lucky guy. But anyway, so we make sure when he's around, we do it once every 2 weeks, once a month, or whatever. And it's those types of friendships, mentorships, whatever, that really, really do sustain you throughout life. And I think it's wonderful that sometimes a kid just needs one friend, one advocate, one person to stand up and say, hey, you're my friend, and I'm going to protect you. I'm not going to let you be bullied. I'm not going to let you, whatever. And that's what gives them the ability to move forward and to,
Yes.
express
Yeah.
themselves. I loved what your thing said on the screen. It said, excel after the bell, after school, because that's when a lot of kids get into trouble. And one other thing, real quick, I don't want to turn this into a negative, but you look at a lot of the young kids today that are getting involved in gangs. Why? Because that's their sense of family. Well, this is a way for them not to be involved in gangs at the age of 12, 13, 14 years old. This is a good kind of gang, let's say. This is something that is productive, and it's something that every kid needs, because every kid becomes what? Every adult. And we don't want kids to go in the wrong direction and then become adults and be in the wrong direction, because I've been told jail's not a good place. So let's avoid all
That's
that.
definitely, these kids are bonding forever friends. And I love seeing that happen when they're elbow locked in, arm in arm, and they're walking down the path of camp. And then
Yep.
when we do our project pathways, they're so excited to see their friends. And it's it is just a beautiful thing that's happening. I love watching it. Love watching it come to fruition.
Nice. Nice.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
I think I've been doing these things called the AI questions of the week. I asked AI to give me some questions to ask you, Paula.
Okay.
So I think this might be a good chance.
With trepidation in her
Can I
voice.
use my
Okay.
AI to answer?
If you need to, you need to. Let me see. I want to see if I can arrange our screen in such a way that still makes sense. And I'm still playing around with Restream. Has been a wonderful tool for our podcast here. So kudos to Restream and all the options. I still learn. I still got to learn all these options that are available to us on Restream. So let's see if we've already answered some of these questions. I'm looking for some good questions to ask Paula Capone from the YMCA in Rockford, and this is what AI gave me. The first one: the YMCA of Rock River Valley emphasizes youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Could you elaborate on a specific program or initiative within one of these focus areas that you believe has had the most significant impact on the Rockford community in the past year? We just talked about Camp Hope, so I think we already covered this question pretty well. So we'll skip past number one. We did really good with that question. Question number two says, given the evolving needs of the community and the general challenges facing YMCAs around the country, how is the Rockford YMCA adapting its programs and outreach strategies to remain relevant and accessible to all members of the community, especially those facing barriers? That might have to do with Camp Hope as well.
It does. We have so many programs that are addressing our community needs, from emerging leaders to Camp Winnebago, to I'm just trying to think. Oh, youth in government. We have a youth in government program where we're taking young individuals and we're teaching them how our state government works. Emerging leaders is coming upon their ending, where we're taking young men of color and teaching them skills of how to be leaders. I'm saying it in such a simplistic form, but they're going to be giving presentations at the first part of August, and it's a kind of a competition type of thing, but staff have been working with them all summer long. And so they're emerging leaders. It's an awesome program. It's held at our Good Shepherd YMCA. And then we had some great individuals that went through the youth in government program. We have almost 275 kids to 300 kids a week out at Camp Winnebago during the summer. I feel sometimes that is a hidden gem. It's an awesome, awesome program.
It is.
We have family
Yeah.
programs that are free. You don't have to be a member, so it's offered to the community. So there is just a plethora. I don't have enough time to say it, but we really do offer so much to encourage the youth to build family and not at before and after school programs. Thank you for putting that up
Yeah.
there. We're almost in all of the public schools in Rockford for before and after school care. Huge program, huge. And then we do seniors, adult programming from active older adult classes and silver sneaker classes. So all sorts for all ages. Swim lessons. I can't forget swim lessons. And I love the collaboration that we do with so many other nonprofits. So we work with the Rockford Park District and providing free swim lessons to the community during the summer at the outdoor swim parks.
And that was the third question.
This, yeah. Well, let me just say, I think it's wonderful. Greg and I are pretty politically involved. I don't know if you are, Paula, but the whole idea of teaching government is kind of lost in the
Correct.
school district
Yeah.
now. There are a lot of kids that don't even know what the Bill of Rights
Yeah.
are. The first 10 amendments. They don't understand. They don't know that. They don't know when it was ratified, December 13th, 1787. They don't know excuse me, any of these simple little things that are trivia 101. Now I have the benefit of doing trivia all the time, so these questions come up, but I learned it in high school. I learned it in college. And most of us did. But it seems like we've gone away from teaching civics. We've did simple
Yeah.
stuff. And I think this is wonderful for kids to start learning it because that automatically puts them up there and it gives them confidence too.
Yes.
And that's the
You
other
got
key
to
right
build their
there. Gives them
confidence.
confidence.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So that is wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
You
And that
bet.
was the third question was the YMCA often relies on strong community partnerships to maximize impact. Could you share an example of recent successful collaboration with other organizations in the Rockford area? And you already just talked about that in your answer there. So, and then I like to ask AI to give me some funny or odd questions to ask you as we wrap things up. So this one always seems to come up. I got to train AI to give me some variety of questions, but this one's kind of a no-brainer, Tom. If the YMCA of Rock River Valley had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, it's fun to work at the YMCA.
YMCA.
That's a gimme.
That may be the dumbest question
Thank
ever
you,
asked.
AI. Question number 2, what's the most unusual skill you've seen someone develop or demonstrate at the YMCA, either in a class or just around the facility? Have you seen anybody demonstrate an unusual skill that maybe caught your attention, either at the camp or maybe at a Y facility?
Oh man, you
Unique
made
ways of teaching or cleaning something or building something. Most unusual skill.
unusual skill. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm always amazed at the camp staff or camp staff, all the staff. They're
Mhm.
always coming up with unique. What I love about the Y, if somebody has an idea and they're like, I think this would be really cool to do. They're like, okay, let's try it.
Let's try it. Yes.
And so we have got community gardens right on our downtown branch, and so it's
Okay.
I mean, there's just so many beautiful things that happen. You kind of stumped me, but
This was a unique
maybe the
question that AI
rowing
gave
club.
me.
We have a rowing club that I'm always amazed at. You know that we are the host when we bring the Rockford Regatta.
The regatta, yeah.
You know that is amazing. That's
Yes.
an amazing thing to see. I don't know if you guys ever have seen that, but the Rockford Rowing Club, the YMCA Rowing Club is unbelievable. I
Yes.
mean, to see these people row down the Rock River is pretty cool.
Chelsea from R1. her last name escapes me at the moment, but yeah, she's involved with the Rockford Regatta thing too, and really loves being able to get out there on the river all summer long and row up and down those really cool boats, those
Skulls.
skulls. Yes, they're really cool. So
Yeah. Jane Johnson is the coordinator for this
cool.
and has been for years.
Chelsea Black, that's her last name.
She would be another great guest on your podcast.
Come on
And so she would always ask, Paula, come on, you gotta get out there. And I'm like, well, what time do you start? Well, 5 a.m. I'm like,
it's an early morning thing.
I don't know about that, Jane.
Yeah. There's only one 5 o'clock in the 24-hour period. Only one. That's PM.
All right. So the last one here says, if you had to describe the spirit of the Rockford YMCA as an animal, what animal would it be and why? That's the last one.
I'm going kangaroo.
Kangaroo. We hop all around.
That's right.
We carry the little Joeys with us wherever we go.
That's right. Take care of the little guys. Absolutely.
I would also say we're a lion and a lioness. We're strong. We're vibrant. We will, if I can say the word fight, for young people, we will go out there and be champions for the youth. And we will roar. And in fact, our mascot is a lion.
Your mascot is a lion. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And his name is Macy, and that's YMCA spelled backward. And so every once in a while you'll see Macy come out. And but yeah, I do. I look at the Y as being a lion and a lioness and taking care of our people. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make sure we already have in the chat the link to your website, your Facebook page. And if someone wants to contact the Y, maybe ask questions about volunteering in certain areas and such, that link is also there for those following along with us on Rumble or YouTube or on Facebook. Of course, Rock River, I'll put it on the screen one more time here too. RockRiverYMCA.org. That's the main website right there, rockriverymca.org. So check that out for all things Y in the Rock River Valley. And I'm sure glad you had the chance to carve out time and join us today and tell us your story a little bit.
Oh, thank you.
We definitely want to help keep promoting what you're doing with the Y and keep spreading the word, all the good stuff that Y keeps continuing to do for the Rock River Valley, and specifically the 815 here in Rockford. So.
And feel free to join Greg and I for football talk afterwards.
Well, I know a little. I know a little, but I try to know enough so I have conversation with my husband, and so
that's always nice.
All right. So, is your household a Bear household or a Packer household or someone else?
Good. Oh, Tom, good question. My husband is a Titan fan.
He's a Titan fan. Go Tennessee.
Tennessee.
So
Titans.
we go down. He has season tickets. So
it's such a cool stadium in a cool city. Nashville's such a cool city.
And it's
I have never been there, but I got to ask, how did he become a Titans fan? Is he from Tennessee?
He is not. He was married prior, and his wife was from that area.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, didn't want to get too personal with it, but I was just curious. I always ask. One day I saw somebody with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey on, and I said, I said, are you a fan of Tampa Bay or do you just like the colors? And his buddies just cracked up. They're laughing. I'm like, no, I wasn't being disrespectful. I'm just curious. Yeah. Turns out he was born in Tampa or in Florida or whatever, or something like that. He legitimately was.
I'm just curious.
Right. So every once in a while, I got to bring out my Bears T-shirt, and every once in a while, I forgot. Is it every 3 years or something like that they'll play?
That they get a victory? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they'll play. I always bring out my.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting
Uh,
season.
I'm going to leave it there because this could go off into a different direction
Totally. I
entirely.
set myself up there, right?
Well, we'll leave that
Maybe.
for another time. But anyway, Paula, you are free to go about the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate all that you do at the Y there and for the community.
Yeah, God bless you
Oh,
and all
thank you
that you
both,
do.
Greg
That
and
is
Tom. I really
absolutely.
appreciate the opportunity. You
You
guys
got
have a good day too.
Come back and visit us
Thank
anytime.
you.
Bye-bye. All right, the big number of the week. Our current race to 10 has me in the lead by a score of 2-0. You know what? I didn't even write down. Did you win the last one? I don't remember. I think I
Oh, I'd like to say
won
I
10 to
did, but I
9
don't
though.
think
It
I
was like
did.
a really close one for the last race to 10.
Oh yeah, no, I won the last one 10 to 8.
All right.
I thought you meant last
The
week.
last
I'm
race
like,
to 10. The last race to 10 was close, very close. 685 billion is the big number of the week this week. And the answer is a fan or a fraud. You have made your pick earlier and texted it to me. So I'm going to change the score on the screen there before I post it. Got any thoughts on Snoop Dogg, Tom? What are your thoughts on Snoop Dogg?
I'll tell you what. Snoop Dogg as a person, I think he's a good guy. I think he does a lot for the youth. I think he does a lot for everything. Snoop Dogg is kind of one of those that you really can't
I
dislike him
know,
too
right?
much.
Likable dude.
But here is where I draw the line. I am very anti-drug. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. And I know some people are going, "Oh, come on, marijuana is not a drug." Well, yes, it is because it's mind altering. It is a drug, and up until a couple of years ago, it was illegal in the state of Illinois, as it should be, because it's mind altering. People don't understand that when you get behind the wheel of a car and you've had a few smokes in your house, you're
Got
still
to be
high.
careful.
You might as well just drink 3 or 4 beers and
Don't
then
do
go
that
drive.
either.
You're still buzzed. Buzz driving is drunk driving. We see the ads all the time. So people don't really make that connection. Okay, what I don't like is this constant promotion of the marijuana smoking and this and that. That's where I draw the line. Now, let me just give you a really quick synopsis. I grew up in a home where my brother, 4 years older than me, started smoking when he was 12. He started doing drugs when he was 14. It damaged our home. That's why I got so adamant when Allie was on about a fractured spirit, a fractured
Right.
home, because mine was damaged. And my brother, he turned out to be a great guy. When he passed away, he'd been a Christian for 10 years, and we eulogized him. And I let everybody know he wasn't a very good guy early on, but afterwards, he became a wonderful man of God. So I wanted to put that out there. My brother was, but he was a troubled soul because he had, in fact, it's funny because both of our guests today kind of played right into that. He didn't have the proper mentorship. He
Would
didn't
have
make
totally
good
benefited
friends,
from
good
both of these
choices.
organizations.
He could have big time, but this is 40 years ago or whatever, 45, 50 years ago. Okay, so my brother's life was completely changed and altered by drugs, drug use, harmful, simple, not harmless, but harmful, but simple stuff. So this is why I take such a strong view on it, anti-drug, anti-this and that. Whenever I see a movie and all of a sudden it's got people, glorifying marijuana use or whatever, or a song or something like that, I will not play it. I will not see the movie. I will speak out against it any chance I get. Now, I will also say my opinion. You do not have to share my opinion. I will love you the same. I will give you the same respect. I will give you the ability to make your case, whatever. I am not being judgmental here. I'm simply telling you what my story is and how it affected me. And through the grace of God and the grace of great friends, and obviously you are included in there. You're a wonderful, wonderful human being, and you are one of my absolute best friends. And I love you to death. I know I've said that before, but I'm saying it again because I want you to understand how important you are to me. So, and how important my friends are that I have, especially my friend that Mike is his name. I just got a text from him a little while ago. It was funny. It said Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd went into a distillery. They were going to steal some booze, and Bugs Bunny says his there's is this whiskey? And Elmer Fudd says, yeah, it's whiskey, but it's not as whiskey as robbing a bank.
I've
So
told that
anyway,
joke
that's
before.
what he said to me. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, it was funny. I just got that about 2 minutes ago.
Uh,
But anyway, and so that's my thing. So you asked me
I
about
knew
Snoop
bringing
Dogg,
up
and I went
Snoop
on a
Dogg.
2 minute
I knew bringing up
diatribe.
Snoop Dogg would cause conversation. The reason I brought up Snoop Dogg today, though, is he's now the co-owner of a Welsh soccer club called Swansea City. And it seems like a win-win deal. The team gains further capital and the eyeballs of all of Snoop's social media followers. He's got over 100 million people following him on social media. And he is a big fan of soccer. He adds, the soccer into his net worth, which is now he's worth like over $160 million. He's now co-owner of Swansea City Soccer Club, which means, yeah, you're getting the point this week. The
Yoo-hoo!
fraud is the answer. A Priest Retail
Yeah.
and Deloitte report found that that $685 billion of merchandise rather was returned in the United States last year. 15% of it, 103 billion worth, was fraudulent. What does that mean? It means empty boxes or used items that went sent back to retailers. Bad returns are much more common in the realm of e-commerce than in traditional brick and mortar stores. So the problem behaviors that they're seeing are people buying clothing, especially wearing it once and then sending it back for a refund. Others that will claim the packages never even arrived. So there's a lot of fraudulent retail, I guess you could call it theft, really, when you think about it, that's going on. And they're trying to figure out ways to put a stop to all that stuff. If you buy something, you're supposed to, keep it or use it, or obviously if it's defective, you send it back and get a refund. But if it's not defective and it's what you ordered, you're supposed to keep it and not send it back and get a refund.
A lot of times they'll say that don't send it back. It'll cost us more to send it back. I just had some. I'm not going to mention what it was, but it was a head shaver thing, and I got it in the mail a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever, month and a half. Haven't used it yet because it's too many moving parts. I'm like, I opened it up. I'm like, what the heck? There's like 12 different things. I got to put it together, and I got to have a PhD in biokinetics to be able to figure this thing out. So I left it in the box. I just got nailed for 30 bucks, 27 something for a refill. I'm like, I haven't even used it. And I also didn't authorize you to take the money out of
You
my
signed up for a
account.
subscription that you didn't know you signed up for. I hope you
Yeah.
figure out a way
So
to
they're
get
getting
out
it
of it.
very, I tried to call them because I'm big on telephone conversations, not emails, not everything. I tried 3 numbers and, you cannot access customer service on this line. We invite you to go to www.wedontreallycareaboutyou.com.
The small
So
print is important, right? The small print is important.
yeah, they're getting a don't give me the small print. I don't mean you, but I mean they always say that. Well, you didn't read the fine print because nobody reads the fine print, and that's why this stuff happens.
More fun.
So, boy, you are striking a lot of nerves with me
We
today,
hit the
buddy.
nerves.
But I want to point.
You get the point this
Yes.
week. You get the point.
Yes.
One more point. As far as shout outs this week goes, want to give a shout out to the Rockford Rivets. They're having a fun, good season out there at Rockford Rivet Stadium.
I am going to go. Let me know the next time you're going, and I will clear my calendar. I don't care if it's my funeral. I'll clear my calendar.
I believe they do have games at the stadium this weekend. In fact, do I have my calendar open here? They have a game tonight at 6:30, and then tomorrow's game I think is a 1:30 first pitch or 2:00 first pitch. There's an afternoon game again tomorrow, so they are.
I'm going golfing tomorrow afternoon, so
they've got a homestand going on this weekend. If you have not yet, also want to keep promoting the fact that our friends over at Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum have this really special gala planned coming up for August 21st. The Aloha Ohana Gala will be at Embassy Suites. You can check out tinkercottage.com for more information about what's happening with this. It's going to be a really fun, extravagant night and celebrating Rockford history and its connection with Hawaii. Most people don't realize there's a big connection with Rockford, Tinker Cottage, and Hawaii. And there is one. In fact, someone is paying to, I believe they want to remain anonymous. So I'm not saying who they are, but they've covered the cost to fly someone from Hawaii to come here and speak about the connection that Robert Tinker had, the Tinker family and the Dorr family had with Hawaii. And
Yeah, I know who the donor was. It was John Doe.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Great.
John Doe.
August
Yeah.
21st. It's a Thursday night at the Hilton Rockford Riverfront Embassy Suites, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. There's limited seating there. We would love to have you there to be a part of this gala on August 21st. So check out tinkercottage.com. We had a fun ice cream social at Tinker Cottage last Sunday to celebrate 160 years. This is the month 160 years ago that they began building the cottage. So yeah,
Wow.
160 years later. And one of the big things at Tinker right now is the fact that it is built on that cliff overlooking Kent Creek. And as you can imagine, it's been eroding over those 160 years. So sometime probably in the next 2 to 5 years, that cliff is going to have to be reinforced, or the cottage is going to fall into the creek. It's just, that's the way things go.
Wow.
So something to be done.
It'll be Tinker
It'll
Creek
be a
Cottage.
Tinker Creek. So we don't want that. And I've heard any estimates anywhere from a quarter million to $500,000 to reinforce that cliff, basically to make it so that the house won't fall into the creek.
Do you think there could be some sort of government funding for
I'm
that?
sure
I
there's
mean,
some
it's
grants being
natural
applied
history.
for.
It's,
Yeah, there's some stuff there that's
yeah.
being applied for. But you can bet that it won't cover everything. So there's going to be a need to raise some financial support from the community. So if you can help out in that direction, that would be much appreciated as well, here to help preserve Tinker Swiss Cottage and Museum and the gardens out there. Next week. Oh,
yeah. Well, no, you go ahead, and then I got one thing I want to say before we do, if we can do a little bit of Packer stuff. I got some stuff I want to share with Packer stuff.
Well, next
so
week
at least
we got a really special, fun show again next week. Special Olympics Illinois. She's been an athlete, and I believe she's a volunteer, one of the chief volunteers there. Susan Coburn is going to be joining us to represent all things Special Olympics in Illinois. And then Growth Dimensions out in Boone County, Growth Dimensions Executive Director Pamela Lopez Fedez. Well, I'll get her name right once we meet her. And then founder of Better Work Experience, Dr. Katie Thomas. They're going to be joining us as well to talk about the growth in and around Belvedere and Boone County and the not-for-profit opportunities that are out there as well. So join us for another great podcast next week. All right, that takes care of all of our business, Tom. That takes care of all of our business. What else? You got some Packers? Have you been watching the
well,
stuff?
I wanted to share something other than football. I wanted to transition into this. This does not apply to the ladies who watch this because they don't have urinals in their bathrooms. No. Okay. Have you ever gone into, I know you have, it's a rhetorical question, essentially. Have you ever gone into a urinal and you see gum in the urinal? Or a napkin, a rag? And I don't just mean like toilet paper, because that'll biodegrade and flush down. But, and I'm talking about the urinals, the ones with the urinal cake things in there, not some urinals actually flush like an actual toilet. But have you ever gone in there and you see somebody has thrown, it used to be cigarette butts, but now you can't smoke indoors. So you have no idea how much this aggravates me, because somebody has to dig their hand in there and pull that out. Are you so stupid lazy that you can't throw your napkin in the garbage? Are you that inconsiderate that you can't throw it in the garbage? Are you kidding me? I saw that the other day. I don't remember where I was. One of the 4 places this week for trivia. It was in the, doing my thing in the urinal, and there was something in there. I think it was one of those little packets of chew or something. They have these packets and somebody threw it in there. Like, oh my God, and they probably spit it in as they were peeing. I don't know. Sorry to get graphic, folks, but that just irritates me to no end. And if one person is listening going, oh man, I do that. Okay, I won't do it. Then we're
don't do it anymore.
Oh, it drives me nuts, dude. Drives me absolutely nuts. So I'm
Yep,
done. That's my
there's your
rant.
rant. NFL teams back in camps this week. It won't be long before we see NFL football. In fact, the Hall of Fame game, isn't it next Friday?
Next
Thursday
Thursday night.
Um,
Thursday night.
also, by the way, nobody watches the Hall of Fame game anyway. So also,
I do.
also Thursday night, it's our In Crowd 815 networking group for the month, and we are going to be out at Mactown Construction, which it's one of the easiest places to find. You just get on Alpine Road and go north, and keep going north till you can't go north anymore. It dead ends right at
Okay.
Mactown Construction's office. They got a great showroom. They always have great food. They are going to, oh my gosh, it just spaced my brain. Let me see if I still have it from a text message yesterday. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Where did it go? I'm going to have to look it up real quick. Anyway, all are welcome. That's what I want to make sure we say. Our networking group is not an exclusive group as far as you have to join, and you know, there's a lot of groups that you have to be only one person per industry is allowed. That's not our group. That is not our group at all. So you can be involved if you're in insurance and there's already an insurance person involved, that's okay. We can have more than one insurance person. We definitely have more than one realtor type person, or all this stuff, all the different industries that are represented, bankers and such. You're all welcome. Bring business cards and a smile. That's all we ask. Bring business cards and a smile, and you'll be welcome at our monthly groups. This Thursday night, 5:30 to 7:30, Mactown Construction is the place. And there it is. The not-for-profit that'll be represented at this month's In Crowd 815 networking group is the RDM Foundation. We had them on the show a while back. RDM Foundation, one of those local not-for-profits that supports military, like suicide prevention, stuff like that. The
Wow,
RDM
yeah.
Foundation will be a part of our event coming up this Thursday night. So hope that you can come out and join us, even if it's just for a few minutes to say hi to some folks and meet some people, let people know about your business, find out about theirs. As always, bring business cards and a smile, and you might win something. Sometimes there's door prizes that we give away too. Let's see here. If I hit share and I hit copy link and I go to my chat section, I can put this in the chat so people can find it in our chat box. Again, if you're following on Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook, you'll see this link there, that goofy link that you probably won't be able to memorize because it's 1C4AD4LABP. You're not going to remember that, but there's the link in the chat for those who want to check out the invitation there.
All right, now I'm ready for some I'm ready for some football.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers threw a pick for his very first pass in the camp with the Steelers?
I didn't.
He threw an interception, his very first, which is actually scary when you think about it, because he learns from all that stuff. He's going to have a good season, I think. I don't know.
Okay, but what is he going to learn that he shouldn't already know?
Well, no, it's just he's learning his players, he's learning his team. So he's throwing a pass to DK Metcalf. He's throwing a pass. He's throwing a pass to DK Metcalf, right? He's trying something new with a new guy that he's never played with before. So now he knows if he throws it to that side of DK's not going to get it. The defender's going to get it. He's going to throw it to the other shoulder next time, or he's going to throw it to higher or lower or whatever. He's going to figure out his receivers.
Okay. So here's something interesting. I've always been a good athlete. Always. I played football. I played softball. I never played hardball, but I played basketball all my life. I've been a really, really good athlete. And when I was 40, I was still a really good athlete. I'm not Aaron Rodgers. Never would be, never could be, never will be, all that. So Aaron Rodgers hasn't. He's 40 right now. He'll be 41 in December. Yeah, like December 18th or something like that, December 23rd. I don't know, somewhere around there. But anyway, so even at 40, I'm sorry, you still know what you're doing. You still have an arm. You still have the only thing he doesn't have is the mobility he
No, he
used
won't
to
be as
have
fast.
because and the mobility comes with smarts, but it also comes with speed. If you lose the speed, you still got the smarts, but you can't outrun a fast defensive lineman. A 25-year-old who can run a 4.5 40, and you now run a 4.8 40. You're going to get beat every time.
Mhm.
So I think Aaron Rodgers will be fine. I don't think he's going to have quite the year you think he's going to have.
Well,
Here, my
I'm
bold
not saying they're
prediction,
going to
call
win
it
the
a hot
Super Bowl.
take.
I just think he's going to have a pretty decent year with the Steelers team.
Yeah, but see, here's why I don't think so. I think Pittsburgh has lost a lot. I think this is my hot take. I think Mike Tomlin, who has been the coach for 18 seasons and has never had, probably going into his 19th, never had a losing record. Never. That's saying something. I think this is going to be Pittsburgh's first year with a losing record. They're in a very tough division. They're playing the NFC North division. That's
That
going to
is
be
going to be
tough.
tough.
They're going to have to beat Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, and then even Chicago, who may or may not be a tough game for them. I don't know. Jury's still out. I think Chicago's going to be better than they were last year. But anyway, I think that they're going to have their first losing season. I'm predicting 7-10. I'm also predicting Aaron Rodgers either goes down with an injury. I don't want it to happen. Don't mistake me. I don't want it to happen. But I think he will because I think his body's simply not going to hold up, or he's simply going to throw some picks, and Mike Tomlin's going to pull the plug and say, "Let's see what the kid has." Whoever I don't remember. Mason Rudolph is their backup
Yeah.
now. He's back in Pittsburgh, so that's just my prediction. But as far as the Packers, I couldn't care less about Pittsburgh. So let's talk Packers. Some interesting stuff that I learned this week. All right.
hmm
First and foremost, I really wish we would trade for Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. That would be good. He's 30,
Okay.
31, I believe, 31. And so he's on the downside of his career, but Reggie White was 32 when he came to Green Bay. And at the age of 37, he won defensive MVP, defensive player of the year, I believe it was. And we got a Super Bowl in that time span and we're in two Super Bowls. So, and I'm not saying Trey Hendrickson is Reggie White. I don't think so. I don't think he's quite as good, but he is doggone good, and he's still young enough. So I wish we would have traded for him. Okay, forget about that. It's probably not going
No.
to happen. So my thing is this: Matthew Golden, our new golden retriever, golden receiver. He's going to be amazing. He was running some routes and doing some toe tapping catches on the corner of the end zone and the sidelines and this and that. I think that's going to be a wake up call to Dontavian Wicks, a wake up call to Romeo Dobbs, a wake up call to Christian Watson, and possibly Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's the X factor here. I think Jaden Reed's going to have a good season no matter what, because Jaden Reed, when having to be the number one, isn't necessarily successful because they're keying on him, they're double teaming him. He couldn't do anything. But in that Philadelphia game last year, he had a dynamite first half. I think he had 6 catches. He just had I watched that game the other night, and he had a dynamite first half. He was everywhere. He had runs after the catch. And then he went out with an injury in the second half, and that was it. The Packers lost 22-10. They should have. They were down 16-10 with the ball with 8 minutes to go, and they could have won that game. And keep in mind, this was the Super Bowl champs, the eventual Super Bowl champs, who blew out Washington and then went and absolutely handled Kansas City in the Super Bowl. So we put up the best fight of any team. Now we're a year older, and we've got even we've gotten some. We added Nate Hobbs, who's going to be a wonderful cornerback. We've added some line help. We've added some receiver help. This team's going to be better than we were last year. And last year we got robbed on a few games. If you take that Detroit game, we went 11-6 last year, or did we go 12-5? No, we went 11-6. No,
I don't remember.
Yeah, 11-6. We did. We went 11-6. You take that Detroit game that they should have won. Everybody in the world knows we should have won it. And that would be 12-5 right there. That puts us in a different position. We don't play Philly first. We then play I don't know who we
Somebody,
play. It doesn't really
somebody
matter.
other than
Doesn't
the
matter.
Super Bowl champion, other than the eventual Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been nice to have played
Yeah.
someone else. I think we'd have played the Rams. But anyway, so a couple of the things that concern me. Not on defense. Our defense is going to be a top 5, maybe top 3 defense. I'm not even worried about that. The offense is what scares me. Jordan Love was injured for most of the year. We know that. I would say of the 17 games we played, take 2 of them out because he was injured. He wasn't in the game. Malik Willis started and won both games. Take another half out. So of the 14 and a half games that Jordan Love played, he was injured in 10 of them. He was injured in the first.
That is worth noting.
Maybe
that's totally
what's
worth
that?
noting. Yeah, he was hurt.
Oh, absolutely. He was playing with injuries most of the season. He's 100% fully healthy now. You saw what he did year 1. He's in year 3 now. He's had 2 seasons under his belt. He's got better receivers. He's got one of the best coaches in the NFL. But here's what scares me. The Packers are a very run-heavy offense with Josh Jacobs. Fine. He's a workhorse. He had 1,100 yards last year. He was the 3rd leading rusher, 3rd to only Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and then Josh Jacobs. Okay, that's great. But you are going to run him to death. He's 4 years younger than Aaron Jones was. Aaron Jones had a good season with Minnesota. He was still productive. But Josh Jacobs was an absolute stud. And I'm worried that if we rely too much on the run, because we're trying to make sure Jordan Love doesn't make a bad decision, doesn't get injured, doesn't this, doesn't that. And by the way, keep in mind that the Packers led the league in dropped passes. We were supposed to have this dynamite receiving core, and you led the league in dropped passes. This is why having Savion Williams and Matthew Golden Receiver, having him on your club is a boon. This is going to move those other guys. A rising tide raises all ships, or whatever they say. You know how it goes. And this is why he's going to spur them on. Romeo Doubs, I don't know. The jury's out on him. If he can complain the way he did about not getting the ball, well, he's going to have even more of a complaint this year. You might want to just deal.
That's
Dontavian Wicks, unless you can catch the ball, dude,
he's probably
gone.
on the low end of the totem pole there too. And I think you can put your running back worries to rest. As far as I'm hearing, Marshawn Lloyd is already having a great camp, and they're really looking forward to him being healthy and being a good solid number 2 back.
To have that 1-2 punch, because we did this last year without the 1-2 punch. We had Emmanuel Wilson, and I think it was Carl. What was his name? Carl Rhodes or something. I can't remember his last name. Carl something. Or something, Carl. I don't know. Anyway, we had a decent running game last year, but I'm worried that Matt LaFleur is going to be relying too heavy on the run game and not enough on the passing game, because the passing game is what is going to get us victories. The passing game is what we need to do. You set up the run, you set up the pass by
Chris
the run.
Brooks, that's his name. Chris Brooks.
He
did okay,
Brooks,
but
of course.
Yeah.
No, he was pretty good, but if you remember, there was a crucial 3rd down. Josh Jacobs is on the bench, and Chris Brooks runs the ball and gets stuffed at the line, whereas Jacobs probably would have scored the touchdown. We're on the 1-yard line, and I don't remember what game it was, but we eventually lost that game. It's like, come on, dude. Why? You and I talked about it at the time. We're like, why? And it was all over social media. It was all over YouTube and the Locked On Packers podcast that I watch. It was all over that. And it's like, come on. What is LaFleur doing? I think Matt LaFleur regressed last year. I think he took a step
He's
back.
one of those guys that takes chances, and you try to catch defenses off guard, right? So if Josh Jacobs isn't in there, you think, oh, the defense is going to play pass now, because obviously your number 1 guy isn't in there, so you're not going to run. Oh, surprise, we're going to run. And they didn't fall for the trick.
But you were within the 5-yard line. I don't know if we were on the 1 or the 2 or the 3 or whatever, but it was an obvious bring your workhorse in, let him grind it out and get some yards. I'm going to go back and find out what that was, so I'm not misquoting or misremembering something. But I know what I was watching the game, because I watch every game. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I think I was watching it with my buddy Ron, and I'm looking at him going, what was that? And he's like, I have no idea. So I'm looking for better things with the Packers this year. I honestly think, and anybody who watches this consistently knows that I'm not a homer. I don't sit here and just bash the
Call them
Bears,
out when they
bash
need to
the
be called
Vikings.
out. That's right.
I do, absolutely. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better this year. I think they're going to be a ton better. They were 5-12 last year. Should have been 4-13. They shouldn't have won that Packer game. They shouldn't have, because Packers didn't. They put their D game
That was
out there.
bad.
They really did. They really did. They put their D game out there. The Packers are a better team than the Bears, and anybody who doesn't admit that needs to go eat a bowl of cornflakes or something. Get some nourishment in you, because your brain's not working right. Anyway.
All right, we need to wrap this thing up. Again, next week.
Oh, I still had 12 more points
I know,
to make.
but we're
I'm
already
kidding.
pushing
I'm
2 hours,
kidding.
dude. That's
We
something
are,
we
aren't
never
we?
used to do.
Wow.
When we haven't had a 2-hour show since that we first started on the radio. When we first started, we did have 2 hours though.
It was a legitimate 2-hour show. Yes,
show.
it was.
So yeah, join us next week. Again, Special Olympics Illinois and Growth Dimensions and Better Work Experience will be our guests. Susan, Pamela, and Dr. Katie. We'll learn all about them. Check out our new merch on our website, incrowd815.com. And remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this day and this week, every day of the week. And we'll do the same and meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast next week. Thank you much, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you next Saturday.
All righty. Bye.
815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815